Welcome Commanders family into Command Center Game Day Live, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Now, Northwest is celebrating Game Day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open your first ever checking account. Now, this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Stop searching and go Northwest. And happy holidays, Commanders family. You can see the Commanders gearing up for their Week 16 matchup against the New York Jets from out here in MetLife Stadium. These live views are brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on, and Commanders family. Again, happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell.
What up?
It's the 8 to the 9, a.k.a. Santana Claus. Santana
live.
We are here now. We are
Brian
here now.
Colder.
Yes,
not Colbert.
I'm very cold. This is not like L.A. It is Coldbert out here right now, fellas. Now, let's get right into it. Now, we know Zach Wilson is not playing. They listed him. He's dealing with concussions. So we're going to have Trevor Siemian in here, fellas. How do we prepare for a quarterback like that? How does that change the game, B-Mitch?
Well, it doesn't really change the game. You got to look at what they run as an offense and attack it. I think we look at our defense, and we've said it all year that they're supposed to be the catalyst of this football team. And I think you get after Trevor Siemian just like you would Zach Wilson. You can make them make mistakes. And the whole thing about it, we've been the team giving up big plays, making mistakes. We have an opportunity now to go against an offense and make them do things that we need them to do and want them to do.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think this would have been much different if our defense would have prepared for Zach all week long, didn't see, Trevor on film or on tape, but last week he got in the game, so he has tape, so they got a chance to watch him and see some of his tendencies. So our defense will be prepared, and then you got a guy in Trevor Siemian who hasn't won in a long time. I mean, he hasn't started in a long time, but he hasn't won either in a long time.
Since 2018, I think it is.
Yeah, we have to be mindful because we've been here before when it comes to quarterbacks that haven't had a win and haven't played well. We can't be that team that continue to let guys like that come in here and wreck our season even more than what it is. So you don't have to do too much to get out them. Go out there and just get out them.
And we had to start the show with that, but you know what I like to start the show with? Y'all memories. I told you, Santana Claus. You don't get a name like that unless you a bad man on Christmas Day. Tanner, man, talk to us about that nickname and why you got up for big games like this.
Well, one of the things, I'm a holiday guy. I love Christmas. Christmas is like my favorite holiday, and one of the reasons why I got that nickname, because like I said before, it was given. It was a Christmas Eve game. It was in FedEx, though. And was playing against the Giants, and I had the spirit going with me, and I got on that field and I gave everybody that same spirit. They didn't receive it well on the opposing side, but it came away. I had 3 touchdowns and won the game. I had a big game, so I just got up for that day, man. That day was a day that I knew I was going to be giving back to my family who was in town. Them to come watch me play, and then the next day was going to be Christmas, so my kids was going to enjoy it. But I just felt like giving out presents that day, and that's why they stamped me Santana Claus.
Nothing but gifts. B-Mitch, I know you got some Christmas Day memories.
Well, I don't think I play many games around Christmas, but the ultimate thing is when you play games around the holidays, you know that you have everybody sitting around watching these games. And the ultimate thing is where you get the casual fan with the fans that are there all the time. And if you do something great, that casual fan takes your name to someone that never heard about it. And that it makes your reputation grow. And I think that's the ultimate thing for me. Whenever you're playing those big games and those holiday games, I wanted to make plays. Because now when you start getting Pro Bowl, people that don't know nothing about voting, I heard that name Brian Mitchell. They hit the button. That's how you get into it. So whenever you have those type of games, you got those extra fans you want to show out.
Yeah, no doubt. And somebody that doesn't need to make a name for themselves is a Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm mentioning him because he is active today. He will be on the sideline. I don't imagine we're going to see him much at all.
No doubt.
But what does a veteran presence like that do for a quarterback like Trevor Siemian?
Well, I would say if Aaron Rodgers is active and he's on the sideline, I expect to see him at some point.
Really?
Because Aaron Rodgers is not dressing out just to dress out. He's probably trying to prove a lot of people wrong and say he couldn't do it. If he just get one snap, just think about that. This man vowed to be back on the field.
Yes.
As quicker than anybody would ever think. And he's active today?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Aaron, when it's around Aaron, I expect anything.
Wow.
Who knows with Aaron? But I ain't expecting to see him. I hope he don't get out there.
Me too.
He'll be a fool if he do. I think this season is a wash for both teams, practically, and for Aaron to come out here and do more damage to himself. I mean, even if he doesn't hurt himself, right. I don't think he needs to go out there with that. Just continue to heal and be ready for next year. But as you ask, what does his presence does for Trevor? I think just a guy he can come talk to and ask him what he sees. You know what I mean? Having Aaron around should be great for both of those guys. But Aaron can't play the game for him. Yeah. So regardless of what he tell you, Tanner, you got to go out there and play. You know what I'm saying?
He's active. He's been on the sideline every game. He's been talking to him every game. He is active today.
Yeah.
They activated him instead of some other healthy person.
Maybe B-Mitch knows something we don't know.
No.
So B-Mitch, let me ask you directly. How do you expect them to use him if he does play today?
Well, if he goes into the game, I think it'll be something quick just for him to prove a point.
Okay.
That's all I can see.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there's no reason for Aaron Rodgers to go into this football game today. He is already a Hall of Famer. He's proven everything that he has. He's done everything that you need to do already. Won him a Super Bowl. Next year is where you should go. Get fully healthy before you do anything. But Aaron Rodgers, he's a little person. He likes to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
He basically hates the medical industry. He want to tell you that his way is the best way.
Yeah.
I can see him wanting to have at least a snap.
Don't do it.
Now, listen, I wasn't going to start without Terry to start the show, but there he go right there talking to some fans. Great to see Terry. Now, you talk about proving yourself.
Yeah.
One guy that definitely has to prove himself is a Sam Howell, right? He was benched last week. He's coming back. Ron Rivera still believed in him, said he's going to be our starting quarterback. How does Sam Howell bounce back today?
Throw the ball to that guy right there.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin. I mean, the ultimate thing is Sam has to just go out there, and in my big three keys to winning this game today, I'm going to say make the play that's there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's the ultimate thing where in football, we all want to make the big play. We talk about making a big play in big-time moments. But you know how you make the big play? You keep making the average play right here.
Yeah.
You make that play that's just right in front of your face. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, the big play opens up. You don't have to go out there and try to force the big play. And I think if Sam goes out there and do what most quarterbacks seem to think is a negative, manage the game, which means throw it to the open guy, make the proper read. If you do it consistently, you'll make the big plays.
Yeah, I think the jury is still out on Sam. We asked so many questions about him, I think too prematurely, about do we have our guy? And he's young. I mean, some days he does, he look like that, and some days he doesn't. But that's football. We all have up and down days. I think with this season, being that this is really his first real full season, you can't really judge him because, now it seems like he hit that wall. And now it seems like, he's regressed. You could throw all that out there, but I think he's just showing you that this is how young quarterbacks mature through this game of football in the NFL on this level. So I'm happy that he's playing today because I think these next 3 games will be pivotal going forward for his future. To see how he finished, whatever, happens, with our team. Now you know what you got at quarterback because regardless of what you go get next year, he's still under contract. Still got Sam here.
There you go.
So you got the best of both worlds when it comes to whatever decisions you make when it comes to either it's going to be a quarterback or those guys that help the quarterbacks on the offensive line. So I'm happy that he's getting a chance to go against a defense that's going to really give you a lot of problems. So let's see how he rises to the challenge.
Well, we're going to talk more about this offense. We're going to talk more about Terry. We're going to talk about this defense. We're going to have a ton of fun on this Christmas Eve show. But before we do that, we have to look at our injury report and our list of inactive players. This injury report presented by VHC Health for you and for life. Of course, you see a few big names on there. Brian Robinson Jr. is inactive. We see some big names on our offensive line, including Tyler Lawson and Charles Leno Jr. But, fellas, let's stick on Brian Robinson Jr. We see the offensive line's missing a few guys, but missing him, how does that affect this running game, B-Mitch? You talked about it a little bit last night.
Well, I think the ultimate thing, Brian brings a certain tenacity.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Rodriguez is the closest to that. But AG has the experience. He has the size, the speed. And he also adds the element of catching the ball at the backfield where he can do multiple things. So these guys now have to understand this. This is real football weather.
Yeah.
We're at December 24th right now.
Yeah.
When running the football is vital at times to really set up a lot more. You don't want to throw it too many times because that ball gets hard, it gets slick.
Tell me about it.
And if you can run it and pound it a little bit, all of a sudden your receivers have a little bit more separation because now guys are hesitating because of the play action or anything like that. You want to try and establish a run. And they give you shoulder pads for a reason. Guys get concussions when you use your head. But if you use those shoulder pads on people consistently, I'll be honest with you, most DBs don't want to tackle anyway.
Yeah.
And if I am 220 plus and I come around the edge, I am going to make them choose. You okay? Choose wisely.
Yeah.
Okay, we call it a business decision. They're going to make a business decision. When I come around, I would say from the point he hits me, I'm getting 2 to 3 yards extra every damn time.
Yeah.
That's the mindset you have to have as a running back. When you watch Brian Robinson, that dude feels like I'm going to run through you and take you with me. I remember the play, guy waiting on the 2-yard line. He ended up 2 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah.
You have to have that mindset as to, I train for this. And they're not going to stop me whenever I'm coming, especially in a game like this where it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're standing here, we're handling the weather right now. But
trying.
you keep moving around a little bit, just keep it up. So what did London tell you before we started this show?
This is football.
I love this type of weather. I want to hit people. I run all day. That's the way the running back has to think as well.
And speaking of London Fletcher, a guy that never missed a game ever. We're going to sit it down to him. It's time for Best Seat in the House, brought to you by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. London, preview this matchup for us, dog.
We're out here at MetLife Stadium in what I would call the perfect hitting weather. It's about 43 degrees. This is absolutely a great day to play football. We're coming here with a 4-10 record, and we're going to snap our 5-game losing streak. We're going to have to do it against one of the elite defenses in the National Football League. They have guys, what I consider playmakers, multiple playmakers on every level of the defense. We got a banged-up offensive line. No Charles Leno. Cornelius Lucas will be making the start for him. And Nick Gates is back starting at the center position. He's going to replace the injured Tyler Lawson. They're going to have their hands full dealing with this New York Jets defensive front. When we look at the defensive side of the ball of the New York Jets, that's where they really make their hay. We're going to be challenged in the passing game. We try to throw the football. We're going to be challenged. But one thing and one area that we can take advantage of the Jets is by running the football. They're one of the worst in the league at stopping the run. I look for Antonio Gibson and Chris Rodriguez to have big days rushing the football. As far as our defense is concerned, they're going to have to deal with Trevor Siemian. He's making his first start at the quarterback position since week 12 of last season. He hasn't been very successful. It's been, I think, since 2019 that he's actually won a game as a starting quarterback. We will have to deal with Garrett Wilson, who is one of the premier young wide receivers in this game. We can run the football, and we get after Trevor Siemian. I think we pull off a victory in MetLife Stadium.
Always great to hear from London Fletcher. And you're right. My man don't got a jacket on. He
don't
got gloves on. He don't got a scully on. My man is not cold at all. This is really weather made for a dog like London
barbarian.
Fletcher. Well, listen, we're going to have London Fletcher join our show later. We're going to have some fun talking about this defense. And, of course, like I said, we'll talk about this offense and get B-Mitch's Big Three. But before that, let's take a look at our most rewarding odds presented by Fanatic Sportsbook, the most rewarding sportsbook. Now, Washington are underdogs by 3 points with a money line of plus 130 and an over-under of 37. That's the odds for you. Now let's check out what we have next on Command Center Game Day Live. Coming back from this break, we will hear from our Command Center family, Logan Paulson, and the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot, on what our offense needs to prep for against this Jets defense. And like I said, London Fletcher will be back to join us for the best part of the show, which is hashtag left hand up. During the break, be sure to leave your hashtag left hand up in the comments for a chance to have your questions answered by some true legends. This is Command Center on the road in New York, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Northwest is celebrating game day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open your first ever checking account. Now, don't wait too long. This is a limited time offer. So visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Remember to stop searching and go Northwest. We'll be right back after this short break, and we'll leave up the live look for the Commanders during the warm-ups. You got no reason to go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
The final stone of the championship. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Well, Rodgers, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Are you watching this?
Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody...
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandma.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Offer ends November 30. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
One! Back.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're delivering more happy for the holidays.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Here is a live look out at MetLife Stadium, where the Commanders are gearing up for their Week 16 matchup against the Jets. Remember, these live views are brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on. And before we go any further, let's get into today's Game Day forecast, presented by NBC4. We are working for you. The high is 47 with a low of 41. 0% precipitation, which is good, but 2 mile per hour wind. So that's a look at today's forecast.
I think that's 5
at NBC4. Now, see, last time we did this Game Day forecast, we got to brag a little bit because we was out in the sun. Fred and Logan were stuck out in the Ashburn in the cold. Now I feel like we got it a little colder than them in Ashburn. What y'all think?
Yeah, probably so, but still, we're in the elements.
Yeah.
You know, we got personality around us. The atmosphere is better. They're stuck in a place where it's just them. You think look, Logan got to talk to Fred all day. Come on, man.
I'm sure Logan enjoys talking to his best friend Fred as much as we do. Let's send it over to Ashford to holler at our guys Logan Paulson and Fred Smoot. Take it away, fellas.
Thanks so much, Brian, and happy Christmas, man. Merry Christmas or happy holidays, whatever we're doing. I'm British. So there we go. All right. So we got this Jets defense, man. They got the green on today. Yeah. They got a little Grinch tendency to them, man. They're kind of stingy, trying to take stuff all the time.
They want to steal this Christmas from us.
Absolutely. What are the high-level thoughts on the Jets defense?
Well, first of all, when I see this Jets defense, I think fast, I think vicious, and I think cover men. I think people that can get after the quarterback, and I think a Sauce Gardner, he's God's gift to the cornerback position, because not only do he believe in his own talent, he has the talent to back it up, and I think that's what makes this defense so Bad.
Absolutely. I mean, it's you said bad, but I mean bad like
bad in a good
bad
way.
in a good way. I got what you're saying because they are very talented. And Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, also very good on the outside. Very physical up front. When you watch their techniques, Fred, is there anything you're like, wow, this guy does this at a super high level?
Well, first of all, Quentin Williams. When I see Quentin Williams and what he does in the middle of the defensive line,
disruptive.
He causes disruption from the front to the back. I think everything starts with him. I know everybody think it started with Sauce Gardner. I think it started with Quentin Williams because not only does he get to the quarterback and get the quarterback on the ground, he gets his hands up at a high level. You're talking about a guy that's 6'4", and his brother behind him, brotherly love. His brother, I think he's smothered. He takes the air out the room. But when you look at his brother and the plays that he makes, he's one of the best linebackers in football.
No, doing a great job playing next to C.J. Mosley. Both those guys playing at a super high level. It's funny. I would push back a little, Fred. Because I think the coverage drives this team. You said the D-line drives the team. I think the coverage drives the team. When you watch them, they're not doing anything super exotic on first and second down, right? They rely on those 4 men to get home, but it's the coverage that makes the quarterback hold the ball, pat the ball, and then it lets those guys get home. And then third down, man, they get all sorts of crazy stuff in terms of creating pressure, but they're playing so well as a group. Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, I disagree with you.
I know you can disagree. I know I said that already.
I think they are married. I think they are married. I think that the coverage and the rush are married, and I think that's what makes them so dangerous. The way they move, the way they take up for each other, the way that they work together. I think the teamwork on this defense and them believing in themselves is the difference in what makes them a great defense.
And you've played in the defenses that play a lot of man coverage, right? And what is the advantage there? Because offensively, I'm like, oh man, we should be able to dice up a man coverage defense. But you're always touting man coverage as being as something that gives you an advantage. Why is that?
Well, because I believe in disruption. If you're disrupting at the defensive
which they
line,
do a lot, right?
Thank you. And I come down and I press and I'm disrupting you. That's that one Mississippi, that two Mississippi, and now the quarterback has to go to a different read. And I think that's why man coverage trumps everything else. And that's why I think it's going to be a good game. Back to you fellas in New York.
Thank you, Fred and Logan. Man, you guys, you heard him talk about Quentin Williams. So let's get right into that. Right? What issues does he pose for our offense?
He's a game wrecker. He's a guy who's going to penetrate. The center and guards are going to have a tough day because the guy he has a motor, and I always want to see those big guys in the middle who has that quickness. You know, those defensive tackles are normally more athletic. Quentin Williams is very athletic, big guy, but very athletic, quick, and strong at the point of attack. And they're going to have to make sure if they got to move him out of there on the double team, you better make sure you lock in, engage, and get him out of there.
Yeah, some of the things that we've seen this guy do all year long is what we was hoping that our guys can be, consistently, and Payne and Allen. And I think when you look at him, man, he's just a disruptor. He's one of those guys, like, he's playing on the level of I guess you can say Warren Sapp. How Warren Sapp used to disrupt things, different style, different body, but he's that type of guy. He's the guy that you have to make sure that somebody's double teaming him or helping out whoever is blocking him one-on-one. So it's going to be a long day for those guys up front, man, and I'm hoping that we bring our lunch pails and our hard hats because, trust me, they're going to need it.
See, he commands that attention, which means now C.J. Mosley and now Quincy Williams, they have some gaps to run through. So it all starts with him. So if you got two guys on him, what if he beats the two and a third guy can connect with him? Two more guys are running free. And I think that's what he does. It's not that he just goes out there and beat one guy. He makes more than one guy focus on him, which allows somebody else to go out there and make the plays.
And B-Mitch, we talk about it all the time, right? Keeping Sam Howell clean. Well, you saw there's 3 guys on the offensive line that aren't playing today. Makes the task a little harder. How can we keep Sam clean today?
Well, you got guys like Lucas. Gates is back in there. Those guys, like Gates was benched, basically.
Yes.
He has the now opportunity to say, look, I can still play. I learned something. I saw what I was doing wrong.
Right.
Lucas has been good when he's played in there sparingly. He has to continue that going as well. So sometimes the backups may come in and do as well as the starters were. And we'll find out. But the ultimate thing is you have to find a way to be sure on your guy, know your assignment, and make sure you can hinder that person. Blocking is not putting the guy on his back all the time.
Right.
It's just holding him enough to where he can't get to your quarterback. Too many guys want to pancake somebody. When you can, it's good. But for the most part, stay in front of him and allow your guy a chance to deliver the football.
Quick game, this scheming up some good plays that he can get the ball out of his hand quick. And then those guys up front just doing their job. B-Mitch just said it. You don't have to pancake a guy for you to go out there and be productive. Just give me enough time. And Sam, with that being done, make sure you get the ball out in a timely fashion. You know you don't have all day. When you know who's in front of you, get it out. Then the same way with our offensive game plan, EB is going to know also, well, we can't hold this guy but for so long. So I need to do some things where I can get the ball out quick and run at him as well,
And Tanner, back in your day when you were saying Tanner Claus, you used to just say, when in doubt, get the ball to Tanner. Now we say the same thing about Terry McLaurin. Tanner, I'm going to stick with you. We heard them talk about Sauce Gardner. What do you expect to see from that matchup, and how can we get Terry open?
I mean, Terry's one of those guys. I don't really think there's guys who want to just follow Terry around. He's a guy that he plays hard, man. Terry's not going to scare you by looking at him. Terry's going to scare you when he get up on you and you see how tough it is to stop this dude. You know what I mean? So I know Terry probably care less of who's going to be on him. He's going to probably have a couple of run-ins with Sauce. I'm not sure if Sauce is going to follow because they have another guy on the other side who can play. He's very capable. But Sauce is a guy. I think he's uber confident, I told you, and he's going to go out there and shoot his wad and see what Terry has. I'm pretty sure Terry's going to be ready for the challenge.
I have no doubt he will be ready for that challenge. You got something to add on, Terry?
I just say, most guys will not be wide open in the NFL. Especially with a guy like Sauce Gardner covering him.
Fair.
But Terry has proven time and time again.
Don't matter who's on.
Contested catches, no problem. I can handle that.
Yeah.
So give him a chance.
Yes, sir. And whenever we talk about Terry, we think about air power. So let's get right into air power, presented by Air National Guard, the proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Now, last game, Terry had a career high out in L.A. The Pro Bowl wide receiver recorded 141 yards and a touchdown against the Rams, along with making some crazy one-handed catches. One they took from him, but Terry was still doing his thing. It was just inches from a second touchdown as well. Tanner, how cool is it to see Terry get off? We talk about him all the time. You've been in those positions where you had to make big plays for your team. Get a quick note on Terry, man, and how you feel about him.
I feel great about Terry. I just think one of the things that was cool about last week was we talked so much about the game, coming up to that game, that Terry hadn't been the vocal point, and we was waiting for them to wake up and know that, if we want to go far offensively, we had to give him a chance to catch some passes. We didn't win the game, but he showed you when you give him the opportunities what can happen. So I'm just hoping we can see that again this week.
Oh, no doubt, man. I mean, what a great guy that he is on the field and off the field, a true leader. And not only does he get it done on the field, he gets it done out in the community with his Terry McLaurin Foundation. Fans, if you have a chance to cast your vote for Terry as your favorite Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, the player with the most votes can earn a donation to the charity of their choice. Voting ends January 8th, so be sure to check out the link on your screen to vote. Now, we have to go to break, but we have plenty more for you on the Command Center Game Day Live. And when we come back, B-Mitch and Tantana are sharing what they want for a Christmas Eve game in New York. And we want to hear from you, Commanders family. Leave your questions using hashtag #LeftHandUp in the comments for a chance to have our crew answer your questions from out in MetLife. Stay tuned to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only Commanders pregame show which has your field pass to the action. And we will not let you miss a moment even during this commercial break. Stick with us.
The most rewarding sports book is here. With Fanatic Sportsbook, you can earn fan cash back on every bet you make. 5% on same-game parlays, 3% on parlays, 1% on straight bets. You can spend fan cash on jerseys, hats, bonus bets, and more. So win or lose, you always get something back. Welcome to the most rewarding sportsbook. Start earning fan cash now.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandmother.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Offer ends November 30. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Hey, grab me one too.
We're in Prince George's County.
Working for you. Let's go get some breakfast.
Let's go give someone some coffee.
Go make somebody's morning.
How are you?
Barging in.
Want some free coffee in the community? Okay.
I don't watch anything else but Channel 4. With my family.
We are literally working for you. Who wants hash browns? Order up.
This is the team that helps me rise and shine.
We love News 4 Today.
We're News 4 Today.
Working for you!
The final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Well, Rodgers, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Welcome back, Commanders family. It's Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. And right now, you are seeing our guy, Terry McLaurin, doing what he does. He was out at a children's science museum with STEM students, giving back during this holiday season like a lot of our Commanders family did. Always great stuff. That is your future Walter Payton Man of the Year right there. We are just over an hour away from kickoff here at MetLife Stadium, where the Commanders are getting warmed up for a meeting with the Jets. These live views are brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders can rely on. Now, fellas, you know it's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
And I asked y'all this last night, but maybe some people didn't hear it. What do y'all want for Christmas Eve today? B-Mitch, I'm going to start with you.
All right, well, what I want three things, okay? And I think if we do these three things, we can also get us.
Now, let's save your big three. Now, I know you want to get into the big three. We're going to save that. This is just one little thing.
Okay, one little thing that I want.
Christmas Eve list.
What I want is competitive football.
Yeah.
Okay? I've asked for this team to basically give me a whole football game.
Yes.
All three phases. And then let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
I believe if this team gives us offense, even special teams for 4 quarters, they win the football game.
Yeah.
And I've been asking for it for some years now. And it's tough to do. But give it to me today so I can be the guy like that little kid, like Tanner's little baby. Yeah. Seiji Poo.
Yeah.
Okay? On Christmas morning, open up my gift and have the biggest smile in the world and make daddy feel good.
Yes.
You know, if they can look, I'm daddy right now. I'm older than all these dudes. Some of them could be my kids. I want to be the happy daddy on Christmas Day.
And Tanner, during Command Center, you, Fred, and Logan made your Christmas Eve list. Let's send it over back to Ashford to see what was on y'all Christmas Eve list.
Now, Fred, we've seen you working on your Christmas list, but you know what, Tanner and Logan, they also put a list together. So I want to hear from all y'all about y'all list.
Oh,
but Fred,
really?
because you started it off, you inspired us,
Yes.
we're going to start with you. Talk to us about your Christmas list.
Well, first of all, I went to the mall the other day and I sat on Santa's lap and I begged him. I begged him for hours because you know what? I talked this man up before we drafted him and I feel like he's a clone of myself, Mr. Emmanuel Ford.
Dude, every week.
Every week. Even the game.
Every week since the draft.
Yeah, I'm
There
gonna
is.
say. Yes. So, Santa, could you please send an F on the shelf or something to help my guy Emmanuel Forbes get an interception? I don't want just one interception. I want 2 interceptions, Santa, and that'll really make my Christmas go. Another thing I want Sam Howell to just go light it up. Because it ain't nothing like, you know, one thing about Christmas, it brings people together. And if everybody just sitting around, they sitting on their couch and Sam Howell threw for 5 touchdowns, guess what I'm going to get the next day for Christmas? A Sam Howell jersey. Like, that's the way it goes when you ball out on Christmas. Thank you, Santa. And what I really want the guys to do, I want them to have fun.
Oh.
You know, since it's the holidays,
That's
I
so
want them
sweet.
to have fun and play football. And we know, fellas, the best way to have fun playing football
Win that
is
game.
to win.
Win that game.
And that's my list. Thank you,
What a list,
Santa.
What a list, Logan. That's a tough list to follow, but Logan, you got your one too. You got your one too.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the defensive line. I want to see them play really well. I mean, we saw shades of it last week against LA, right? It's coming along, right? See John Allen playing defensive end.
I like
it's so great to see, and I want to see those guys come to life. This offense for the Jets has been struggling a little bit. Let's keep them struggling. Their offensive line specifically is banged up. Let's get those matchups. Let's find those situations. When an offense is struggling, what are you going to get, Fred? Third long situations, right?
You're going to get the ball.
And we got to rush the passer. So if they get some sacks, get some production, that's something I really want to see. And I want Sam Cosmi, man. He's been playing really good football. No one's talking about him probably because he's an offensive lineman. They get no respect. I want him to be the Grinch. I want him to be the Grinch for that defensive line.
Want him to steal Christmas.
I want him to steal Christmas from that defensive line of the Jets. Everybody's talking about Quentin Williams. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Sam Cosmi was locking down Aaron Donald. He did a great job in that game. I think he can handle Quentin Williams. I think the rest of that offensive line has to match him. They're playing pretty good. They're kind of the unsung heroes. And they all put those green masks on and get after it. Can't wait to check that out. And the last one is I want our guy, Eric Bieniemy. I want him to be Santa Claus, man. Put the hat on, put the suit on. He's giving presents out to everybody. Terry McLaurin, you get a touchdown. Curtis Samuel, you get a touchdown. Hey, here's B. Robert running the rock. Sam Howell, here's some easy looks. Look at the defense. If he coaches a good game, we're going to be ready to go against the Jets.
Bah humbug.
I like
What are you saying, bah humbug for?
Because you were talking to us, not Santa. All right, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you know we can't do the list without making sure we get B-Mitch's Big Three. That's right, it's time for B-Mitch's Big Three Christmas List edition. Brought to you by Maryland Lottery. Fast play games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. B-Mitch, I know you're ready to go. I slowed you down a little earlier.
Yes, you did.
Now I'm going to let you go. Go ahead, B-Mitch, take it away.
The Big Three this week, keys to victory. First one, run the football. Because I believe if you run the football and you can wear down the Jets defense, the favor goes into Washington's hand, because I don't think this offense of the Jets can carry the team. Their defense make the plays, but when you run the football on the team, you make them play a lot more stout. They exert a lot more energy, and if you can wear them down, now you can go over the top. You get Sauce Gardner want to come up and hit somebody, he will forget about somebody and they'll go past him. That's the way you get it, by running the football first.
Running the football would be great for what we're trying to do, because we want to possess the ball more, we want to move the chains, and you want to be kind of balanced, somewhat balanced. You know, you don't want to see Sam dropping back and letting that defense pin their ears back and get out them. So running football will be very key.
And then number two, control the line of scrimmage. We have Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. I think that they're better than the people in the middle for the Jets. So if you can push that pocket back, now Trevor Siemian has to worry about big guys in his lap, and all of a sudden force them to be one-dimensional in the passing game. And on the other side, our offensive line, we got some new guys there. Those guys have to control. Quentin Williams and crew, they can play. If you can start to move that line of scrimmage back a little bit on them, you give your offense a great chance to go out there and get some scores, because they'll be concerned about the double aspect of it, running the ball and then passing it, and then you go in. But you got to control the line of scrimmage.
Trench warfare is one on both sides. If you play good, defensive line, offensive line on both sides of the ball, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be in the game and have a chance to win the game.
And then I'll end it by saying this, and I mentioned it earlier. We try to make big plays all the time. Defensive guys are trying to do something individually instead of trying to go with what the mindset of the game plan is. Offensive guys want to go out there and try to, you got a 5-yard run, get that 5-yard run. Don't try to go out there and say, well, I'm going to bounce it, and then you end up losing yards. Make the play that's presented to you, and if you do that consistently over and over again, that big play will come, and we'll walk away with a victory today.
Yeah, take advantage of what's given. I mean, don't try to press. You know, most time you see guys making mistakes, and when we made mistakes because we're trying to press to do too much. Take advantage of it, because what you do is you weigh them down, and then boom, you hit them. You know what I mean? With the big play at the end.
Yes, sir. Speaking of Big Three, our Commanders family have a chance to spend New Year's Eve with our Command Center Big Three. That's B-Mitch, that's Santana Moss. No, it's not Logan Paulson, unfortunately. It's Fred Smoot. So let's give y'all a little bit of details on that. Like I said, that'll be against the Niners on December 31st. Fans will receive an autographed football and a Commander scarf and beanie for every single guest. You can visit commanders.com/leisuresuite for more information. Fellas, how excited you are to spend some time with your Commanders family on New Year's Eve?
Well, I'm very excited. Actually, when we were in L.A., it was a lady that was in that suite that was behind us who said, I can't wait because y'all be coming to my suite.
Yeah.
It gives you a chance to spend time with the people that basically support us on a regular basis. And, anytime I get that opportunity, I love being one-on-one. I want to let people know who I am instead of just thinking who I am, who I was on the football field.
I look forward to it every time because, like I said before, I played in this league, playing this game, and those very fans that sit in those stands is the reason why we get the big bucks. So
there you go.
I love enjoying spending time with them.
Well, let me say some of my best memories this season has been hanging out in suites with my guys here, enjoying some great football conversation. But I also enjoy some great conversation with our young safety, Percy Butler. Let's check out our conversation with Percy Butler. It's time for our Never Ordinary interview presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Pride of Blackman, Louisiana.
Yes, sir. What makes Percy Butler never ordinary?
What makes me never ordinary is, I'm gonna say, my speed for sure.
Yeah.
Like the way that I get, the way that I use my brain, how I can see different things,
Yeah, how did that speed change in year 2? You're in year 2 now, man. How did that speed of the game change for you?
The speed of the game, it slowed down, but it's like me, I just had to, adjust to how, like, staying square, and just, because when I see something, and if I see something and like in the league, it's like teams have a lot of counters to certain things that they put on film. So it's like, boom, it's like you can see that, but you still got to be patient enough to react to this counter. So it's like I'm trying to get that right there.
How have the veterans on this team, Kendall Fuller's, Cam Curls, even Jeremy Reeves, how have these veteran guys helped you be more comfortable in what you've been doing on the field lately?
I'm going to say with K. Fuller, Cam, and Reeves, they helped me because, even if you do make a mistake, they ain't coming at you, just coming at you crazy. Like, they saying, like, boom, I done been there before, and they telling me about their experiences, and they telling me what to look at to make it better so I'll never, go through that again.
Yeah.
So it's like they always encouraging and helping,
And injuries happen in the game, right? We all know that happens, and a few happened with us, and it affected you, where you're getting a lot more time than you were previously getting. For those that are watching, because everybody's going to be in these positions sometimes, right? How do you stay ready? How did you stay ready?
How did I stay ready? I stayed ready because this offseason, I was all into the playbook because I felt like me being, slow on the playbook last year was the reason that I wasn't stepping on the field on defense because it's like the coaches, they wanted me out there, but it's like, boom, I couldn't get the playbook like that, So it's like, boom, I was into my playbook, always asking questions. It's never a stupid question. Always ask questions because sometimes you're going to regret if you don't ask a question and you mess up on something. So, I told myself that, always ask questions in the meetings. So that's what I was doing. I was asking questions, making sure all my questions was answered, just so it never had no gray area for me.
Yeah, man, always humble and always hungry to learn, man. We appreciate you spending this time with us, man, and we can't wait to see what you do on this field for the rest of the season, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
On the New York.
It's been a lot of fun seeing our young safety step up and play some key pieces to this defense. All right, Tanner, we're going to give you a chance to sing a little later. I'm going to put you on the spot. Now, you can check out the full interview with Percy Butler on our Commanders YouTube page. Now, we got to go to break. When we come back, we have the legend, London Fletcher, joining us to talk who he needs to see set the tone on this defense. And you still got a chance to ask these legends some questions. Remember, use hashtag left hand up in the comments to make sure you get your questions answered by some true legends. Stay tuned to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only Commanders pregame show which has your field pass to the action. And we will not let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break. Stick with us.
By quickly? Football goes by quickly. So cherish every rush pass and rush pass turn pick six with instant withdrawals on FanDuel if you win. Because holiday football won't last forever, and soon it'll just be March.
Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Offer ends November 30. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
The most rewarding sportsbook is here. With Fanatic Sportsbook, you can earn fan cash back on every bet you make. 5% on same-game parlays, 3% on parlays, 1% on straight bets. You can spend fan cash on jerseys, hats, bonus bets, and more. So win or lose, you always get something back. Welcome to the most rewarding sportsbook. Start earning fan cash now.
Welcome back, Commanders family, to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. We told y'all our Commanders family is out giving back to the community. What you're looking at right now is cookies and rookies, is what I told that was called. And my guy that I know loves some cookies.
Oh, I love some cookies.
It's my guy, London Fletcher, and it looks like we have a special delivery delivered by Grubhub. Fans, don't forget to order your unlimited game day spread using the Grubhub QR code. No fees will be applied. And yes, as I said, London Fletcher with the delivery.
I got you.
Now,
delivery.
Now, London, as you know, our fans are asking questions. They're watching right now.
Right.
So I'm going to let you get this first one. Who needs to be your MVP for today? This will be for all y'all.
My MVP for today, it has to be Nick Gates. Nick Gates, he's coming back. He's going to be starting after having, lost his job. The title lost him. This is an opportunity for him to solidify that offensive line. They're going against Quentin Williams, that monster for the New York Jets at the defensive tackle. He has to be the MVP of this game. If he has a great game, I think we'll win this ball game.
I'm going to say the defense. The whole defense, the entire defense needs to go out there and play well. I think when you have a quarterback in Trevor Siemian that hasn't done much this year and now getting a chance to start, don't make this guy look like he can really play. You know what I mean? Don't give him no hope that he could come out here and get the job done. We've been in this situation before. Our defense need to go out there and attack. Be our MVPs.
The trend is going on the big men, and I'm going to keep it right there. I'm going to go with Cornelius Lucas. You're playing the backside. You're protecting Sam Howell. You want him to be comfortable all game so he can deliver the ball to the right people. If you can solidify that left tackle side and make him feel comfortable, Sam can pick some people apart.
Great answers, fella. Now, this one's a little tougher. I'm kind of surprised this one slept through the cracks. The question is, what do you do if Sam struggles? We know what happened last game. We saw Jacoby Brissett come in. What happens this game if we see Sam struggle, B-Mitch?
If it's about winning and he's struggling, you got to find a way to make a move to give a spark.
Yeah.
When you're playing the actual game, you're focusing on winning the game. Yeah. So whatever that move is to win the game or give the team the best chance, you have to do it.
I don't want to talk it into existence. He's not going to struggle.
I'll say this. If he's struggling and you make that change, it's going to be extremely difficult to start Sam next week. They're going to be very reserved and very cautious and patient with Sam if he's struggling in this ball game. And We're not going. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Speaking that to the existence.
Who gave us that question?
We're not putting that in the Christmas air. But Commanders family, we understand your concerns and your question, and we appreciate y'all asking these questions. Now let's take a look at our guys out on the field. They turned up out here. They got some good music out in MetLife. We out here, Jay. Yeah, go ahead, London. Go ahead. We like that dance.
Some guys better say that energy. Don't be dancing too much before the game. All right, listen, I got my energy. I can say. I'm saying, no, you talking about them. You know that. I'm watching them. They dancing. You better take that energy to the damn field. Don't be dancing here and they get bust up in the game.
Those live looks of the dances.
We got that little boost. We going.
We can dance all day.
We can dance all day.
Those live looks were presented by Verizon, the network Commanders fans can rely on. And London, I'm glad you got the energy, baby, because you know we talking about defense while we got you here.
Yes.
Now, these fellas already talked about it. Zach Wilson will not be playing. Trevor Siemian will be starting. How does that affect this game?
Well, when you look at Zach Wilson, I'm glad he's not playing. The kid has a lot of talent, a lot of arm talent, athleticism. I know he's had kind of a rough start to his career.
Yeah.
Trevor Siemian is nowhere near the type of athlete that Zach Wilson doesn't have the same type of arm strength like a Zach Wilson, but he does get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker, and he's going to see things a lot quicker. The thing about us, we're going to have to disrupt him. He hasn't won a ball game as a starter in, I think, since 2017.
Wow.
Hasn't started a game since over a year ago, so he hasn't been productive as a starting quarterback. This is a great opportunity for us defensively to make some plays. I will say this, Garrett Wilson, that receiver that they have, he is legit. Don't allow him to get going. Breece Hall can get going in the run game, but don't allow Garrett Wilson to get going either. Neither one of those guys.
And London, I'm going to stick with you because Aaron Rodgers is active today. He's on the sideline.
Yeah.
And we have a tie with the Command Center family now. B-Mitch thinks A-Rod's going to come in and play. Santana says ain't no way. London, what you think?
Man, it's 50 degrees, right? It's actually 40-something degrees. That Achilles is not ready to be played with on this turf. There's no way he's Let me ask y'all a question. Why do you activate him? Is there another quarterback on the roster? They got today. They got another one. Is he dressed out? You know you can dress three quarterbacks now. But a lot of times they don't. No, they can. It doesn't count against the 48. If they don't, listen, man. I just know Aaron Rodgers want to prove a point. Aaron Rodgers is not. He might come in, throw one pass, and go to the sideline just to say I told you so.
Don't do it. Don't do
London
it.
said no way.
Listen, it's cold out here.
Don't do
that
it.
Achilles, it's stiff. And he gonna sit there for 3/4 of a game, and then all of a sudden, hey, Aaron, that's not happening.
Well,
that's
these Jets quarterback have an ultimate weapon,
Woo!
like London said, in Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
B-Mitch, man, how do we slow down Garrett Wilson?
We have to communicate well in the secondary on that back end, and make sure you have a sound understanding of what your job is that day, your assignment. Because the thing about it, when we see big plays, they have miscommunication. Yeah. Okay. Now they have one little play. Tanner and I talked about this earlier, where they have a guy in, the guy comes to the inside, that outside guy goes up, and the other guy goes, and nobody ever checks him.
Yeah.
They have to communicate.
Right.
If Garrett Wilson runs down the sideline and he is wide open and nobody's around him, that's a lack of communication. He's the best guy, best weapon on their receiving corps. You better make sure you have somebody covering him. Yeah.
I mean, he said just know your responsibility. I guess know when you're in man. I'm pretty sure they'll know that, but know when you're in zone. Know where you have help at. I think I see I'm a receiver, and I'm watching time and time again. These guys not understanding, the leverage they have and when they don't have the leverage. So just know the assignment. Know when you have the help and know when you don't. And stop looking at things that's not there. You know what I mean? If you got a guy and you put your hands on him, make sure you can disrupt him a little bit. He's a guy that you got to contain. If you get out to the quarterback enough, you might not be able to get the ball out there to him. So hopefully we do that well. But I think he's one of those guys. They're going to throw it up to him. 9 times out of 10, he's like Terry. He's going to come down with a couple of them. But just know your responsibility.
In London, on Command Center, we talk about matchups a lot.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see matched up against Garrett Wilson today?
I don't know if this is going to be a situation where somebody's necessarily going to follow him and match up with him, all over the field. Because once you start matching somebody up, now you're moving fours maybe inside. You got to move Kendall or those guys in a position where they're not necessarily used to playing at. What I look at when you talk about playing defense, especially on the back end, communication, even over communication, is the key. We need to see more pre-snap communication happening on the back end. And that's with signals. We'll be on the road, so we're on the road. You can verbalize and communicate a lot more. I need to see those guys talking a lot more, and that's one of the ways that they'll be on the same page. Talking before the players snap. before the players snap. Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I see guys talking after the player snap,
that's
too late. Me, dog.
It's too late. It's too late.
That's burnt. And London, you mentioned their running back, Breece Hall. He can't only run on you; he can also catch on you as well. Yeah. How do we contain him?
Well, you know, he's their second leading receiver too. He's a tough, physical running back. When you're talking about stopping the run game, that starts with penetration. I think the Jets, they don't have a great interior offensive line. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, those guys can be extremely disruptive. Our edges, they're going to have to be set hard by the defensive ends. But Payne and Allen, they're going to have to be disruptive.
Yes.
If those guys are in that backfield, it's going to be tough for Breece to get going. And our linebackers are going to have to come downhill. Khalid Hudson played an outstanding game last week. Cody Barton, he was active as well. And Quan Martin, who plays a lot in the base defense or sub package from a run standpoint, he was active too.
Yeah, and you hear London mention those names. A lot of these guys in this secondary are very, very young. On the Next Man Up podcast, we talked to Percy Butler, and he talked about being ready to step up for these guys because we've had a few injuries. Who do you plan on this young? Who do you want to see on this young secondary step up today?
Well, I want to see the veteran guy that I look at him, Cam Curl. You know, Cam has shown over the years already how disruptive he can be. I want to see that. I want to see them utilize the abilities that he has. It's like we used to always bring him down and do a lot with him, and we hadn't been doing it lately. I need to see him more involved.
Yeah, I want to see those guys just, do what I saw they did last week that they hadn't done in a long time. Create turnovers. Yeah. I think that's going to be key. That's something that we need to see more of too. As far as young guys, playing, I want to see our young Forbes go out there and get active. I want to see Forbes have one of those games. This is a game right now that I think, we talking about matching up a guy. I can see Forbes on, the guy Wilson a couple of times. I don't want to see him left out there on the island on him, but I can see him lining up against him because he has the ability, he has the talent, and he needs to get that confidence back where it was at. I think he can play. I see he had a brace on his elbow, but we had him on the podcast. We had him on the Players Club, and he talked about just getting out there and, playing football, carefree, and there's no responsibility. So I'm looking forward to seeing him have a good day.
You know what? Young guy, I think that the main young guy that has to play well is Percy Butler, and it's because he plays free safety. And he's going to be tasked with being a guy who kind of, if there's something, a play that breaks, he may have to come, he got to have to be their eraser. He may have to be the last line of defense in terms of making a tackle. His body position, one thing that Percy has gotten himself in trouble with is just getting out of position off of when he doesn't need to, moving out of the middle of the field or losing leverage, losing his leverage when he doesn't need to. So I'm sure that's one of the things that they've really been harping on and trying to get him to hone in on, staying where he's supposed to be in the middle of the field, or if he's whatever his leverage is, and being that sure tackler if something breaks.
Excellent point, London. And Percy was actually one of the guys that forced the fumble in last game. He's been getting a lot more minutes now that the safety position has a few injuries. Now, London, we miss you, brother. The Players Club. You heard Santana mention the Players Club.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend Smoot got to fill in for you and hang out with Tanner and Emmanuel Forbes Jr. Let's take a look at that and see what you missed, London.
Who's the GOAT of the NFL in the defensive backs? I'm going to start with you first.
The GOAT. Greatest of all time, huh?
I'm going to get phone calls.
Yeah.
After this one.
I'll probably say mine is Darryl Green.
Yours Darryl Green?
The outside leverage press, running for two, you can't beat it.
Ooh.
I like that.
Way to be a company man. But also, Deion played for this team.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. I'm going with Deion Sanders. I have to. I love D Green. I'm close to D Green.
So
1A, 1B.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's no wrong answer with that. I never got a chance to play against Darryl Green, and I never got a chance to see prime close up on the football field, not on the practice field, but on the in between the lines.
Yeah.
But those are great answers. I mean, when you look at what Darryl Green did to play 20 years, to me, I feel like that speaks for itself.
And do you believe this? At the 20th year, he was still the fastest person on the team.
Well, I heard this at 50-something years old, he ran a 4.2. So
he probably running 4.2 right here in the neighborhood right now.
Always great to hear from our rookie first round, and always great to hear from our legend, London Fletcher. Shout out to him for joining us on the show. Now, the stands have been packed at our place this year, and we're excited to keep building on that energy in 2024. With 5 picks in the first 3 rounds of the 2024 NFL Draft, ample cap space, and 9 regular season games at FedEx Field, there's a lot to look forward to, B-Mitch. Guarantee your place at FedEx Field for the 2024 season for just $50. You heard me right, a $50 deposit. To learn more about season tickets benefits and to secure your spot in 2024, visit commanders.com/deposits. Don't wait. Next year is going to be a fun one. Now we got to go to great. Command Center on the road in New York has been brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Northwest is celebrating game day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open up your first ever checking account. This is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Remember to stop searching and go Northwest. We will be right back, Commanders family. Don't go nowhere.
We're in Prince George's County.
Working for you. Let's go get some breakfast.
Let's go give someone some coffee.
Go make somebody's morning.
How are you?
Barging in.
Want some free coffee in the community? Okay.
I don't watch anything else but Channel 4. My family.
We are literally working for you. Who wants hash browns? Order up.
This is the team that helps me rise and shine.
We love News 4 Today.
We're News 4 Today.
Working for you.
You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum, and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
Final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Rodgers, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
What is that? Curling? Nah.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Welcome back, Commanders family, to Command Center Game Day Live, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Northwest is celebrating Game Day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open your first ever checking account. Remember, this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Stop searching and go Northwest. We are back for our final segment out in MetLife Stadium. Fellas, I cannot believe this is our last road game. Shout out to Verizon for this live look. Verizon, the network, the Commanders can't rely on Michael Jr. back here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss. And fellas, we know it's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's time to add some Christmas to this show. We did a little bit, you know what I'm saying? We might have y'all do some caroling a little later, but until then,
I don't know about that.
Let's get into another list. It's time for Hitting the Road, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Now, fellas, y'all each put a list together.
Yeah.
Tana, I'm going to start with you. We're going to call this Sam's Little Helpers list. Who needs to be Sam's Little Helpers today? Give me 3.
Okay, Sam's Little Helpers. I have 3 guys in mind. One, I want to start with Curtis Samuel. We know Curtis Samuel has been on the chair lady. He's one of those guys. He's a New York guy. This is a great place to come back home.
He'll let you know it.
My next guy is Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry. Hey, he's not going to be the Grinch and spoil Christmas. He's going to be a Grinch and spoil whatever they had planned. And third, last but not least, Sam Cosme. Sam Cosme has been one of our better offensive linemen this year. He's only given up 1 sack. I think his PFF grade is 79.4. He's been doing great. We're going to need him to have his best game today against that Jet defensive front. So those are my top 3 guys to be Sam's helpers.
And Tanner, you mentioned Grinches. So B-Mitch, I would take it to you because on defense, we need him to be some Grinches. We need him to be a Grinch that's going to steal Christmas for them. Who you going to have?
Well, I'm going to start off with the big guy, Jonathan Allen. I think Jonathan Allen is as athletic and as good as anybody on the offensive line. And we need some, as London said, penetration.
Yeah.
He gets penetration and he can disrupt that offense. Breece Hall have some problems with him. Then you move back, Cam Curl, a guy who we know can play football. Use him and put him in a position where he can go out there and help you out. And then at the end, I'm going with a young kid, KJ Henry. Ever since he's gotten on the football field, he's been getting there to the quarterbacks. I want him to be a Grinch today and make sure that green is constantly on the green, which means quarterback on the ground.
Oh, B-Mitch, I like the wordplay. Now, as Logan Paulson would say, that Hawks out here, right? I'm jealous of them because they're out in studio. Let's send it to Logan and Fred Smoot, who are much warmer than us.
What up, fellas?
All right, Brian. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So, defensive guy, offensive guy. I'm going to give my offensive take on what I think we need to do in this game to win the football game. So, I think when you look at the Jets' defense, very, very dynamic, right? So, but the offense struggling big time. So, I think you got to be really conscientious of game flow in this game, right? So, offensively, be conservative. Don't turn the football over.
Protect the ball.
The Jets' defense wins game for them. 3 turnovers against Philly, 3 turnovers against Buffalo. They won those games for them. So, hey, their offense is struggling, the Jets' offense. We can win this game 0-7. Be conservative, be in control, manage that game flow.
Do not let this offense get started on you. I'm talking about an offense that's been sputtering all season long, and it starts with the quarterback position. We don't know if it's Zach Wilson. We don't know if it's Trevor Simeon, but they do got running backs that can run the ball. They do got wide receivers in Wilson. These guys can go out there and make plays, but like you said, protect the ball on offense and make sure this offense doesn't get started on you. I think gives us a great chance to win this game. Back to you fellas in New York, and Merry Christmas.
Now, Commanders family, while Fred and Logan were talking, I tried to convince these brothers to give you a carol before we took off. I wasn't going to sing, so they wouldn't do it unless I did it. I ain't doing it. So you know what we'll get from y'all?
Got run over by a reindeer.
Well, that's all y'all get, right? But what y'all can get is these brothers' final thoughts. B-Mitch, final thoughts on the game.
Hey, listen, a lot of people think these games have nothing. They mean nothing. But you know what? There are a lot of guys to where their career is going to start or finish with a game like today. I think it's a lot to play for. Go out there and show your passion and pride.
What better day to go play football?
Yes, sir.
Christmas Eve, man. What a day to be joyful that you have a job to go out here and play a game that we love since kids. Go out here and have fun, man, and come out victorious.
No doubt. Commanders family, we've had a lot of fun with you here on Command Center Pre-Game Live. Shout out Northwest Federal Credit Union for taking care of us all season long, getting us on the road, making sure we are taken care of. Y'all have been great. We have had so much fun on the road with you guys. But don't worry, we will be back post-game to give you everything you need to know about this matchup. In the tunnel, we're going to get out of this cold as quickly as you can. But don't forget, post-game, we'll have Ron Rivera and Sam Howell. You get to hear from them, and you'll get to hear from these great guys, too. Until then, we're going to get out of this cold. Merry Christmas Eve. We will see y'all back in post-game.
Hot chocolate, come. I'm coming.